Well, we now welcome David Ray from Main Roads WA. David is a senior network operations analyst there, as you've heard, and he's really driven the analytics segment of the Smart Freeway project here in Western Australia. This is a really interesting use case. We've been so excited to see what Main Roads have been doing with KNIME. Welcome, David.
Hi, Betsy. Thanks for the introduction, and thanks everyone for listening to this talk. Um, my name is David Ray from Main Roads, and today I want to bring you a use case where we use KNIME to gather all the data required to operate the Smart Freeways project at the beginning of the project. So first, I'd like to start with who are we, what we do at the Network Operation Analysis team. So what we really do is we gather data from different sources, mostly related to road performance. And we use different sort of tools, but KNIME is really helpful in to convert all that sparse data into actionable information. So um, the people with the right positions can make decisions around network performance using that data. And we also maintain the systems that get the data and convert it into actionable information. Um, Today, the use case is just a specific case on how we gather some of this data and convert it into actionable information. Um, and that's for the Perth Smart Freeways project. But we'd like to give a little bit of background of what was this project. So the Perth Smart Freeway is a section of around 21 kilometers in KNIME Freeway that goes that takes users into the CBD from the south. And in a high level view, in a very simplistic way, how it works is it uses smarts to make the user travel very reliable. And how it does, it controls the number of vehicles that influx into the main line, and it varies, and it uses advanced algorithms to calculate how many vehicles it can let in depending on conditions of the road and the volume and the speed of the current main line. Um, but what is important for this presentation of this project is that it this project had multiple, like hundreds of sensors that collect a speed and volume data, and that data is critical to optimize the performance of that road. So this is in high level what the Perth Smart Freeway does. But what was the challenge? Also, if you want to learn more about the smart freeways, you can jump into the Main Roads website and have a look at it. What was the challenge with the smart freeways project? So at the beginning, the out-of-the-box reporting tools and the software that came with the project did not really provide all that was required by the different levels and of audiences and different levels of users to report and to fine tune the network. Also, when they say we have APIs that provide the data, but hey, not many people can access the data, and the data coming out of it was not the best for, like, let's say an executive director, even a route operator to use it. So what was the challenge? And it's kind of depicted here. Sorry, is get all the data that's kind of, it's just data. It doesn't mean anything, and convert it into like good insights, into data that we can action and tell us something. Also, there were some conditions. We needed to do hourly reporting. We needed to make it in such a way that was easily accessible by different audiences. Another thing was like, oh well, can we just use directly Tableau and Power BI? But if you guys have tried to process different data sources and different data shapes and things coming out of APIs and try to do that programmatically directly into Tableau and Power BI, it's just not good enough to get that data. Sorry, that's where KNIME helped and get all this to work. What was our solution approach? So as I was telling you, we have all these APIs and data sources um, that provide all the data for the Perth Smart Freeway. We use KNIME to collect all the data, extract it, transform it, and schedule our extractions, and then produce a single unified data source that had a common schema for reporting. And I'm gonna show off in a little while how it looks like, but that moves the data from something that's not understandable to something that everyone can use, and it with different visualization tools. It just not strictly built for, in this case, Tableau. Just anyone can come and consume it. Excel, Power BI, Tableau, even just straight Python. And then we built a set of dashboards in Tableau um, to give access to that data, or that information, I better say, to the users. Yeah, that's it. So now, but how all that looks like. So I will like to give you a walk through some of the KNIME workflows, some things that KNIME offers that are quite nice, and some of the dashboards that we used. So let me jump into the demonstration. So many of you will be aware of. Let me zoom out a little bit of KNIME and now how it works. But first thing I like to mention, something that's very minor, but I found really useful, is something the KNIME that has, and it's called meta nodes, and it lets you group different nodes of functional nodes at the things. And I found this really useful because I built this workflow, but anyone that comes and open this workflow at least will know that this meta node here will have all the logic to gather the travel time and speed for the smart freeways. This node here will have all the travel time and sorry, all the volume data. The This will be another type of volume, the occupancy on the ramps that get into the freeway, and the volume of the ramps. Also, I forgot to mention that this bottom line here, the smart freeway also has some like displays of message, variable message displays, and those give information to the users whether there's an accident or what the speed limit. Sorry, that also produces data that we needed to report on the number of messages produced, what was the um, speed displayed, was it correct, was it incorrect. As an example, if we jump into one of these nodes, travel time speed, we can see I use meta node with the meta nodes to compartmentalize the functionality of the information. But what is interesting, even if though it looks long, it's this bit was no code, but that doesn't mean that you cannot use code. Sorry, we did use Python code for this project because the API where you extract data, it was a little bit complex, so it was easier for us to use code. But what is important, I'd like to show, is look how the data looks from the API. I'll bring this across first so you all can see. This is how the data looks from the API. Sorry, we gather every minute of data, and no one can really know what's going on here. After KNIME does some processing, we could see that it starts to take in shape. If we close this meta node, going to the end. I'll have to bring it across. It starts to look a lot better, but still not enough. So another thing before I move to show how we display it is that KNIME really allows us to do data quality. So we can assess what was the quality of the data that we were receiving and go back to the contractor to say, look, there's something wrong with the sensors, we're not getting the right data. But how that looks like. So let's jump to some of the dashboards. So this is an example for today. And let me go full screen. That table that you saw with data really looks like this. So in the gray bars, you can see like the baseline data, so what the travel time used to be. And in the red line was the current travel time for today. So at the bottom, we can see that we saved between 1.2 and 4.5 minutes for today compared to different baselines. And also we can look at different metrics like volume. So we can see the volume has increased in around 20% on the freeway, and we're still saving time, which is really good. Also, something that is good example that happened yesterday, I think, is that there was an accident. Was the day before? Monday? Yes, sorry, you guys can see there was a travel time increase, heavy. Sorry, if you look at that, but then you look at the table, like even this table. So obviously you cannot action anything with this, but you can do it with the dashboard. Also, it was really easy to go and get like a weekly view. This one, let me go full screen. So you guys can see what is the weekly profile of the travel time and for this reporting section. So yes, we did really good on this Monday. Tuesday probably was a public holiday. Wednesday we still did good. Something happened on Friday at the end. So that's what I said. That was the power of KNIME that allows us to get all the data from different data sources every minute, get it into these dashboards, and also, before I forget, um, very important, um, data quality. So we were able to see we need to get 60 time slices that are green. And yeah, this is showing us, yes, we got all the data right. Um, it might be in the past, there are some days that we hadn't. Let me see if I can get one. Yeah, you see this red here, so the quality has been reduced, and then we can have look at those data points with different view and have an assessment whether that's still 53 times slices of 60 is still quite good. Um, so I think that's it for me today. You have any questions, just let me know. But now go back to Betsy.
Thank you, David. Look, a couple of times I've heard about this project and seen some of your visuals, and it is still exciting. I travel on this freeway every day, in fact. So I feel like I know something more than everybody else does. Now, as far as the visual dashboard, I know that there's a varying levels of seniority, I suppose, that are using these insights. How was the response from the execs or the minister when all of a sudden they had this information in front of them and it was from data that they could trust?
Yeah, so it was really, really good. So we started, it has to be every hour. So that those few days I started really early to work, making sure that everything was working. And, it was everywhere on every screen. And the executive director was like, okay, let's making sure. But when we were there, the managing director, he reports directly to the minister, to really ask and say, oh, where is my data? Where is my dashboard? And then this is there, is ready. Go have a look. It was sent to them, and then look if there's a ministerial question or if there's questions from the media and stuff, like the information was there ready to answer. And as you can see,
Yeah.
this is like it's a roads project. It's like government project. Sorry, so it's on the media, it's on the news. So it was a very
Mm.
high profile, and having the data there
Yeah.
to show, yep, we saved 10 minutes, 12 minutes, I don't know, or even when you have an accident, you can see that data is lost. So, and it also was just not the high level, for the lower level, for the users. They could see, oh, this pattern didn't really work. Maybe we change some parameters here,
Yeah.
um, and then they can see that. Obviously, the project is moved like a year now, and then they have more native tools to the project that they can use, but still this is still
Sure.
running as you saw today. And we
Mm.
use that data also now, even if those for smart free was to complement other like data queries that we get, like why I'm taking too long to get to school or something, then we can say, look,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
we still saving 10 minutes. Yeah.
yeah. Very
And
cool.
as you can see, it was
And
really useful during COVID times because we're carrying a lot more volume on the freeway. So
mm,
yeah, you can show the public, look, it's like 30% or 20% more on the freeway. So we're doing quite a good job.
yeah, yeah. I saw that the volume was up, but the time to travel was down. So that's great. Good for
Yeah.
us. Now, look, on the data culture topic, how has KNIME and this project affected the data culture at Main Roads?
Um, well, it makes everything easier and quicker. So people are starting to be more keen on saying, oh, can I have these things that used to take long time?
Mm,
They now say, wow, you were able to do that really quick. So I give you an
yeah,
example. This morning is like they use a native tool from some system to extract some data that they need for create some models, but they saw it once that I was using KNIME. They asked me, and I said, yeah, I can get that data, and I showed them how it was like 3 minutes. Actually, yes, it takes a little bit longer to be the workflow, but once it's built, it gets it like in 3 minutes. So
yeah,
now that when they need one, instead of wasting time getting it themselves, they come and say, "Oh, David, can we get that?" And hopefully, we can get and move to a place that everyone can start using KNIME and build and consume that workflow and start sharing. But
yeah.
we're just starting, and it's good to just show people that things can be better and faster.
Yeah, absolutely. We're off to a roaring start, that's for sure. So we'll have to have you back again this time next year and see where you're at with all the teams
Hey, no
using
worries.
KNIME. Oh, well, thank
Yeah, for
you
sure.
so much, David. Really
Uh,
great to
thank,
have
thank,
you. And
thanks to you all. No worries. Thank you.